So I actually recorded a video on this build right here yesterday, but I decided to wait until I had more information to go ahead and put it out to do a reaction, I guess, to this set. But I am very pleased with what I am seeing here. So this set, I believe, coming out on June 1st, at least for some of the world. I don't know if that's going to be true here for the US as well, but that's faster than I expected. I thought this was going to be one of the August sets, but really cool set either way. So this is the Source Dragon of Motion for Ninjago. Now, I am not somebody who really follows Ninjago that closely, so I'm not going to be able to give you like the lore behind a creature like this. I'm looking at it purely from a Lego fan, from a Bionicle fan, specifically a Technic fan as well. So I wanted to go over what I was seeing here. And as a dragon lover in general, you can see, well, maybe you can't see it, but I have Jira over here in the corner. Another fantastic dragon. All right, so let's go ahead and focus on the build here. This looks super good. I want to mention this is $150 in the US for 1,700 pieces, which is pretty good in terms of the overall price per part, if that's something that you're worried about. But more important here, of course, is the overall size of this build. And this thing is enormous. The wingspan on this is nearly 2 feet wide. So that says something, right? On top of that, in terms of the build, this is clearly a quadrupedal type of dragon, so it's not really designed to stand on its rear legs in the same way that the elemental dragon is. I don't think that's a bad thing, but there's also like aspects of this that absolutely remind me of that elemental dragon. Sort of the color blocking, for example, with the dark red, in this case here, towards the extremities, right? The head, the neck, the lower limbs, lower legs, and the tail. But then once you get to the core of the body, it starts to become that brighter red color. You can see it here. And as you continue to get higher off the ground too, the colors keep getting brighter and brighter. You get into these oranges and these like bright light yellow colors for the flames on the wings. Really exquisite stuff, in my opinion. I have to hope that these are going to be cloth wings, but I can't know that for sure. But with all the like frills and stuff, I would hope that Lego learned their lesson from Jura and is going with something that's a little more forgiving, like cloth rather than vinyl here. That said, the build looks amazing. It looks super well polished. There's a lot of really exciting pieces in here and a lot of exciting recolors, first time appearances for pieces in new colors. Not just this sword here, which as a Bionicle lover, I'm super happy to get a fire themed weapon with true fire colors like the dark red and the transparent orange here. That's fantastic. But also these hook pieces, again, you know, available on other sets, absolutely, but seeing them here on this dragon, it's such a just regal, but like, I don't know, it draws your eye in. It's a real statement piece. On top of that, in terms of posability, from what I can see so far, it looks like the neck may be able to move up and down, though I don't know if there's any twist in that neck. Here, just because of the angle, it kind of looks like it's twisted, but I don't think that it actually is. I think it's just like a kind of an illusion. Maybe I'm wrong, though. Maybe it is angled a little bit, and it actually is able to twist at the neck. That would be nice. Of course, it looks like it has 2 more joints in the neck here as well, so it's got 1 more joint here and then the head itself, and I imagine that that joint at the top of the neck is going to move up and down. The head is probably on a ball joint, I would imagine. Though it could be heavy for a ball joint, so maybe it's on a ratchet instead. I don't know that. With that said, of course, ankle articulation with full ball joints here is really nice. Also getting those new sockets in black, which I think this might be the first time we see them in black, though don't quote me on that, I could be wrong. Still, obviously a very useful color, right? So very happy to see those pieces here. Feet builds look overall pretty good. The rear feet look to be a bit longer than the front feet, but also a bit narrower, smaller in general. So I don't imagine that this is going to be a model that's very good at holding itself up on 2 legs, if it can do that at all, which I don't think that it can, but someone out there might be able to get it to stand upright. That said, obviously it also has this throne that looks to be clipping onto the back of the creature itself. Very big, very stately as well, and I think it looks quite good. It's sort of like a moving mobile version of the what is it, the moon, I can't remember what the name of the set is that just came out. I'm blanking on it. That said, though, in terms of new recolors here, outside of just that sword, the dragon heads, I do believe that this has already come in gold before. However, the head on the, well, the printed portion of the head here is, I believe, new in this dark red color, and obviously an exclusive print here as well. So very nice to see that. Shoulder pieces in gold, I think, have been made before too, but I could be wrong. I don't recall any on the top of my mind that have made it out in that color, but it's, you know, a fairly common color for Ninjago, so I have to imagine we've seen it. On top of that, though, what I'm actually excited for, which is probably very goofy, is the dark red Technic pieces. A 15 length lift arm in dark red for the first time. Also, these dark red ratchet joints in the wings, which I didn't notice until just now. At least those look dark red. I'm not positive. That might be a new color for that piece too, so that'd be very nice. And then, of course, the dark red angle 4 connectors here. Interesting that they're choosing angle 4 and not like some of the other angle like 3 connectors. But granted, those connectors were fairly expensive in that standard red color for a long time, so both colors are still clearly desirable. I hope that we continue to get support for Technic, for dark red, and hopefully there's more in here than just these. But even if it's just this, that's still so much more than we had, because dark red is a color that's been neglected for a long time. I could see another dark red connector in here too, which I can't tell if that's an angle 4 or potentially an angle 5 connect. I think that's an angle 4 connector too. So yeah, good. I like it. I approve. I approve. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at more of the pictures. This is the same general picture. It does show it on 2 legs, but that does not look like it's balanced very well, so I don't imagine it's going to be standing like that. Surprisingly, less texture than I expected to see, less brick-built texture than I expected to see on the torso. When we look at something like Juro, which has that sort of built-up torso on it, I expected something like that here. But it makes sense, and it also means that more of the parts count is going to be eaten up by the internal build of this dragon, and obviously the throne that sits on top of it, right? Not so much the details going on the outside, although obviously some of it still is. Go ahead and move on from here. We can see the throne generally, so it is clipping on via these hinge joints, and then I imagine it's connecting to bars. I'm not sure actually, or clips. I mean, not bars. Yeah, so that would make sense. That's something that LEGO has been doing for a while. A lot of these little spike pieces kind of all over the place. All right, let's keep going. These are your minifigures. I am unfortunately terrible at the names for these figures. Also interesting to see the wolf head with the red in this case here instead of the dark azure. I really like that too. That combination is very good. So I'm pretty happy about that. Of course, you get Kai, you get Aaron, and you get, oh gosh, her name's on the tip of my tongue right now. Wildfire. There we go. And then Roz, and I don't remember her name right now. I heard it last night. Cinder, I think, maybe. No, Cinder's the smoke. Anyway, so let's get Jordana. Is that it? One of those names. Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself here. So yeah, it looks really good though, and obviously you get these little baby dragon molds here in this. I'm guessing that's a maybe trans opal orange, like pearlescent orange. Maybe, I'm not sure. That'd be an interesting choice for those pieces if that's the case. Or are they orange with red blend? It could be trans orange with red. That might be possible. In this picture too, the tail also looks standard red and not dark red. Which here's the thing, I would actually prefer standard red over dark red, but either color I like. Yeah, that's a good picture. I like that. All right. No, this thing looks, it's a big dragon, man. I have to imagine, and I can't recall anything to disprove it. I think this is the largest dragon we've gotten from Ninjago. Probably both in terms of parts count and just in terms of sheer size. Is that all 10 pictures already? Lame. So yeah, let me see if it shows the name. I can't read those names from here. All right. But yeah, really happy about this set, man. I don't imagine I'll be getting it because $150 is a lot of money to spend, obviously. And that's not really what my channel is about. But if that is something that you guys want to see, I do have Patreon down in the description below. That obviously dictates if I'm able to get stuff like this. But just generally speaking, I cannot wait until this has made it out onto store shelves, just so at the very least I can consume some content on it, because I know I'm going to be watching other people's reviews on this dragon. It looks so good. I'm so happy with how it's built, and it feels also like a vast improvement on like the fire dragon, which we got a handful of years ago, which I really liked when it came out as well. But over time, that dragon has started to look a little more like messy and unfinished in certain places. It's a very good model. It's a very good build. But there are aspects of it that I think need improvement, which is the same case with Juro back here, too. I think that looks a lot more finished as a final product, with a lot better, more well-understood sort of color blocking. But there are a couple of things on that set that I think need to be fixed as well, and I have done that to my own. I've modified my own. So with all that said, I'm pretty happy about this. That was originally how we were going to look at that. And yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited. There are other sets too that came from Ninjago as well that have been revealed. Another set, the Tournament Temple City, which I opted not to look at in this video just because I don't want to drag this one on for even longer than I already have. But long story short, has a couple of pieces I'm very interested in, including the Spinjitzu Dragon head, the Dragon Strike head, but in pearl gold, which will be nice to see, and also the Ryu Dragon head as well, which looks to be in dark orange. It's not my favorite design for a piece like that, but also getting a piece like that in dark orange is really significant for me. Dark orange being a color that I really like, and just not having a lot of stuff I can build with a color like that. I would have liked for it to have had like eye holes or something in it, but still, it's a really nicely shaped piece, and I cannot wait to get my hands on one as well. So that's it for this one, guys. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and let me know your thoughts on these sets. Do you like the idea of this Fire Source Dragon? It is up on LEGO's website now. And of course, you can also check out the Discord, Instagram, and Patreon, all which are linked in the description. Take care.